Let's move on to main topic number 3. And our third main topic today gets submitted to us by Raza Hyder. And Raza Hyder writes, "Hey, John, hope you're doing well in this difficult time." I am. Thank you so much, Raza. According to a report by the Wall Street Journal, Christopher Nolan is unlikely to work with Warner Brothers Pictures going forward after their announcement to release all 2021 films in theaters and on HBO Max the same day. I'm quite surprised by this, considering Warner Brothers has said that this release strategy is temporary and will most likely revert back to the theatrical releases primarily in 2022. What do you make of this news? And do you think Nolan is done with Warner Brothers for good after this? All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And this drama just keeps on giving. This drama is like a bottomless well of ever-flowing spite liquid that keeps flowing up. This whole situation with Warner Brothers and their HBO Max thing and yada, yada. Now, if you guys remember, a little while back, after Warner Brothers announced that they were going to be moving their stuff, and by the way, Chrisman3 in the live chat sends in a super chat badge in the live chat. Thank you so much for that, man. Appreciate that. Christopher Nolan came out and had some very, very strong words. Some very strong words for Warner Brothers, and he basically tore them apart. He tore them apart after their whole announcement that they were going to move all their 2021 films to HBO Max. Now, at the time, and Ian Simon also sends in a super chat badge in the live chat for $10. Thanks, Ian. I appreciate that, dude. At the time, Rob, I was saying that I believed that, yes, Christopher Nolan's mad. Yes, I'm sure both sides aren't terribly happy with each other right now, but I believed that cooler heads would prevail. And I believed that at some point, Christopher Nolan and Warner Brothers will say, look, business is business. We'll keep moving forward. We've had a lot of success together. We've made a lot of money together. We'll keep moving forward. But Rob, then after that came the fallout of all the other movies. After that, Denis Villeneuve comes out and writes that op-ed piece in Variety that just shredded Warner Brothers. Like, it wasn't just a little tiff. He destroyed Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
In that thing. He was very, very vicious in that. And then we start hearing from all these other parties as well who felt that they were ripped off. And Rob, whereas at one point I kind of felt like, I think they can get this back together, I'm not so sure that's the case anymore. This comes to us from the folks over at Joe Blow who write the following. The director, this obviously is Christopher Nolan. The director has called Warner Brothers home for 20 years. But according to a report from the Wall Street Journal, Christopher Nolan is unlikely to work with the studio again in future based in part on their choice to release their films on HBO Max and in theaters on the same day. If true, this could end up being quite damaging to Warner Brothers and quite beneficial to whichever studio is able to scoop him up. Who knows whether Nolan really will part ways with Warner Brothers, but it's clear that the studio will have to go above and beyond if they want to hold on to him. That, of course, comes to us from the guys over at Joe Blow. Rob, here's the thing to me that really kind of changed my mind from going on. You know what? I think cooler heads prevail. I think Warner Brothers, Christopher Nolan work together. I think as time went on and Christopher Nolan started to see how much backstabbing Warner Brothers did to the creators and people they worked with, how many people Warner Brothers went behind their backs, to how many people Warner Brothers, quite frankly, double-crossed, not just in good faith, but also that actually had contracts with them, which is why Legendary put up the money to make your movies, and you didn't even consult them. You didn't even talk to them. Here's what I kind of liken it unto, and maybe this is a bit brash, but this is kind of what I liken this unto. Let's say you're dating somebody. Let's say, you're a dude and you're dating a girl, and you find out that your girlfriend, threw away your favorite sweater. Okay. You can be mad. You can be angry. You can be upset, but you eventually maybe cooler heads can prevail. But then the next day you find out that your girlfriend slept with 8 of your best friends. At some point, trust is broken. and you just don't trust them anymore. And I think as Christopher Nolan has sat back and started hearing all the stories of all the agreements that Warner Brothers reneged on, of all the backstabbing Warner Brothers did to all these filmmakers. And I say, listen, I'm a big HBO endorser. I love HBO Max. I love Warner Brothers, but in this one isolated thing, Christopher Nolan's looking at, well, you double cross these guys and you double cross these guys, and you had a contract with this guy that you're just pretending now didn't exist in the first place. You made promises to these people that if they make this film with you, it'll be a theatrical film, and you've gone behind all of their backs, didn't talk to anybody, and just came out and made a public announcement about it. I think Christopher Nolan, that's what's changed my mind, is that I think Nolan's gone from just being kind of pissed at something that happened between them, something he didn't like, something they did. But as he sees the extent of how many people, and Rob, how easy and how willing Warner Brothers was to double cross and renege on all their agreements and all their promises to all these people. He's like, why would I ever trust you? You broke your promises to them. You broke your promises to them. You broke your word to them. You violated the contracts with these people. You didn't even have the decency to talk to them about it before you went out publicly and made this big announcement. Why would I ever trust you again? Now, I'm not saying that would be my point of view if I was in Christopher Nolan's shoes, but if you're Christopher Nolan and you hear the stuff he's saying, I kind of feel like now he's in a position of he just doesn't trust Warner Brothers. And how can you be in business with somebody you just don't trust? I'm not saying he's right or wrong to not trust them. I'm just saying it seems like a very difficult situation. Rob, you're seeing all this breakdown. You're here now with the Wall Street Journal is saying, have we seen Christopher Nolan make his last film with Warner Brothers? Or do you think there's still an open door here that this can get rectified? How do you see it?
I think not. But I think there's a bigger issue happening here, and it ties into the entire movie business as a whole. There's numbers that are going to come out. I don't know if they're going to come out today or in a couple days that talk about how physical media sales have dropped 20% again this year, meaning Blu-rays, DVDs, that kind of thing. The people at Warner Brothers, they don't care. I'm talking AT&T. I'm talking the people that now run Warner Brothers. I don't think they care about theatrical distribution. I don't think they care about physical media. They care about one thing, the new world, which is their subscribers for HBO Max. Their business model, they think, and I'm basing this on what I know about how they feel about physical media. They don't care about discs anymore. The people that run AT&T are thinking, we don't want to sell physical media. We want all those people to become subscribers for HBO Max. I think they feel the same way about movie theaters. We might make $1 billion, but what we want is the 200 million subscribers that Netflix has that guarantees us a cash flow of, I don't know, at $15 a month. What's 200 million subscribers? What is that? $1.5 billion a month in cash flow? I mean, the business, all of the old business models, theatrical, all of it, all going away. It's all going away. AT&T, they own their own method of distribution. They basically, their infrastructure are the new movie theaters, according to AT&T, and now they're the studio as well. So they just don't care. They don't care about movie theaters. They don't care about physical media. All they care about is their subscription service. And I think, look, Christopher Nolan can hang on. I'd rather see his movies in IMAX. But I think that business model, and the further away we get from theaters to be open, and the more subscribers these streaming services pick up with that, Netflix announced 2 days ago that 200 million subscribers, they're no longer worried about their debt that they're carrying. They're finally into positive numbers as far as cash flow goes. And this is the future, man. And we are seeing it happen because you know what? Warner Brothers is like, yep, we still got HBO Max. And just like Netflix, we're going to be able to pay for these movies. You want to come work for us and make our content? Well, you got to understand it's going to be on HBO Max. Otherwise, get the F out.
And so far, that strategy is not working for them.
Because it's not working yet.
I mean, that's their hope, that it's not working yet, but their numbers are abysmal. Deadline just put out a new chart about just really how far behind HBO is. They didn't get the numbers they were hoping for Wonder Woman. They've moved up Kong versus Godzilla to try to take advantage of some momentum.
Well,
and now they're saying, I mean, they've been saying recently now that they've been announcing new movies for 2022, insisting that they're going to be theatrical come 2022 and 2023. And if their HBO model, which has dropped nearly 50% of their, over 50% of their key demographic and almost 40% of their overall viewership since they didn't have any more Game of Thrones to watch, there's only going to be so much time they can try to make this work because they've just fallen too far behind. They're going to need that theatrical money if there's even theaters there for them to put it in.
Yeah, I think they're going to rebrand HBO Max. Through too much, people don't know what that means. CBS All Access, they finally announced they're finally changing over to Paramount Plus, and they should have called it Warner Brothers Gold or something.
Anything other than HBO, because they had HBO Now, HBO Go, and now HBO Max. It was so confusing for people, Rob. They got to change it to something. A
huge blunder. And also, you've got Warner Brothers, which has been around for not thousands, but it's been around for almost a century, and Warner Brothers that's what they want. It's the studio. You want that prestige. And I understand why they did go to HBO Max, but most people don't understand that what they're getting with HBO Max is a lot more than what they had with regular HBO. And why they made that amazing blunder, I will never understand, because look at Disney Plus. People know that they're buying into the Disney brand. And HBO has already been around. You've already bought into it. If you're not an HBO subscriber already, which has been around, I mean, if you weren't watching Sex and the City and The Sopranos and you weren't watching Game of Thrones, then you weren't going to be an HBO customer. And the idea by making it HBO Max, they thought that suddenly everybody was going to flock to this service that's already been available for 30 plus years. It was so stupid. It was so stupid.
And the additional tragedy of that is their content is so good.
I know.
HBO is like, they have been the gold standard for so long. And ever since they launched HBO Max with Lovecraft, which I thought was excellent, you had Watchmen, which was so different from what I think a lot of people, and I thought it was really good. I love their product. Their product is so good. And it's like their content creators are brilliant. And the people above their content creators can't seem to get their asses out of their own faces. I mean, it's just...
what's happened is AT&T, all these executives, they all come in like, hey, man, we're going to Hollywood. Yeah. And everybody wants to stake out their little fiefdom within that without understanding the business. You get to Hollywood, you see this all the time. All of these people coming from outside the business are like, hey, we're going to make this. We're going to do this. We're going to listen to our marketing people. I mean, it's like, give me a break, man. You know what that place needs? It needs a Louis B. Mayer. It needs somebody at the top that knows the business. And I'm like, look, Toby Emmerich at Warner Brothers was one of the architects of this 2021 plan. He knows what's up. He wants to move over and take over HBO Max because he sees the writing on the wall. The Warner Brothers, all the studio executives at Warner Brothers, what are they doing? Twiddling their thumbs, watching their movies show up on a streaming service, listening to their two biggest filmmakers talk about how we're not going to work for Warner Brothers anymore. I mean, Denis Villeneuve hasn't said that, but like you pointed out, he had some strong words for. And so the studio executives, I bet you even the studio executives at Warner Brothers. Can you imagine the senior VP that covers Denis Villeneuve's movies or Christopher Nolan's movies that has a great relationship with them, gets a phone call from both of their marquee filmmakers? They're like, what the hell? You betrayed me. And they didn't know. I mean, It was such a monumental, it was a horrible strategic blunder. But you know what? 5 years from now, it'll all be forgotten because people are going to be begging whatever HBO Max turns into. Please, sir, let me make another movie for you. Pay me off. I don't need residuals anymore. Just give me a fat paycheck and let me make my movie and I'll go away. I mean, the world's changing, man. It is changing.
All right, question is, guys, what do you think about this whole thing? It just seems like the relationship between Warner Brothers and all these creators and directors and producers and financiers just continues to sour more and more. culminating Christopher Nolan. What do you guys think about it? I'm sure it's a great, ripe thing for discussion. Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
By the way,
yes.
Can I just, the little breaking news, Disney has just pushed their, some Q1 movies. They pushed The Kingsman. It's no longer March 12th. It's now been pushed to August 20th. Bob's Burgers, that was on April 9th, is now unset. Maybe it'll go direct to streaming. And the Locksmith animation movie Ron's Gone Wrong, which was April 23rd, was now pushed to October 22nd. This is Disney.
Okay, so some again, not surprised. You and I have been expecting some more pushes to happen, particularly with films that were going to be coming out earlier. So.
I mean, that's April 23rd. They moved to October 22nd. Black Widow is on May 7th.
No, wait, no. Listen, I've been saying for a bit now. They've got May 7th's too early. I think at the earliest, you're talking late May. At the earliest, and they're going to have to bump Black Widow as well. They're going to have to push it. I mean, I just don't know what it is they're waiting for. You got to know that we're not going to be in a place. I know they just recently moved it to May 7th, but by now it should be clear that May 7th is just too soon. I think they're going to have to, I think we're going to hear about them announcing a push on that soon too. So we'll have to see. All right, guys, let's move on now, shall